let's talk about the Bronco Kelly and I ordered. Now, as much as I would love to have a Badlands, because I really dig that cyber orange metallic with the yellow interior accents, like that just absolutely pops and looks incredibly amazing. The way that truck is set up, MSRP on that one's just over the $46,000 mark, which was higher than what we wanted to do. We were originally thinking base Bronco. However, as I started to configure it and adding the squatch pack and different options and things, I found that I could reach a value level in the black diamond trim that offered me a lot of the things I loved about the Badlands. The majority of Broncos ordered are 4-door Sasquatch trimmed Broncos. So the demand for those Sasquatch parts is incredibly high. And I want my Bronco sooner than later, because I've also got a transit van on order that's not gonna come till probably this time next year. But in the meantime, I want to get something sooner than later. So we're crossing our fingers, hoping this configuration will get us our Bronco a bit sooner than, say, a 4-door with the Sasquatch. Now, another thing too is definitely the bulk of the orders are also V6s with the 10-speed automatic. At one point, we even had a constraint on the V6s where we couldn't even order them for a while because the demand was so high. Ford said, hey, we got to stop taking these orders for a minute. And then, of course, it opened back up and we're able to order them again. I've been a fan of that motor since the Focus RS, right? I mean, that was the car that showcased what our 2.3 was all about. That inline 4-cylinder with our twin scroll EcoBoost turbo, it's perfect for a 2-door Bronco setup with that manual transmission. Now mine, the manual transmission definitely has a different gear ratios because of the 6-speed versus the 10-speed in an automatic. And we are planning to do some cool adventure trips. I can't wait to take it to Moab and see what kind of skate spots we can find, right? It's gonna be amazing. So with that in mind, I feel like the control of the manual transmission, as like I've seen in a lot of the YouTube videos I've seen, is the 10 speeds tend to want to run down steep inclines, so people are riding their brakes a lot, versus the control of the manual transmission, especially with that crawler gear, which allows you to just basically idle around in crawler gear instead of having to do a bunch of fancy pedal dancing. You can just put it in crawl and just idle through things. So I'm really excited about that. A lot of people that are taking these Broncos in Sedona and Moab and really putting these things through their paces, they are not using the GOAT modes. They're experienced off-roaders. They're experienced overlanders. So they have a different set of skill sets that they apply to their driving. But we will definitely utilize the GOAT mode. So I'm really excited to do more videos about our Bronco as it gets here. Okay, so let's talk more about our configuration. Like I mentioned earlier, the Badlands was just not quite at the price point, especially for somebody that was originally thinking along the lines of a base model. However, but I felt the 2-door Bronco in that setup proportionally was awesome. Like, especially in terms of a daily driver. Like, I feel like if I go up any higher on a 2-door than, say, the level kit, it's pretty much an extreme off-road vehicle at that point. I'm definitely looking forward to taking it to really cool places and doing lots of cool adventures in it, but we're not extreme off-roaders, and we're not gonna wanna put it at risk of rolling it down a hill or putting it on its top. It's just not a risk we're gonna be willing to take with our Bronco, right? Let's talk more about our configuration. The thing about the Badlands and the Black Diamond is they both are that rugged adventure off-road Bronco. That's where our drain floors and our marine grade vinyls show up. Now, I'm a huge fan of the marine grade vinyls. The first time I saw the marine grade vinyl on a Bronco, I immediately wanted to reupholster my van, which was thousands of dollars, so it didn't happen. I just got some really nice neoprene seat cover. If you want the premium top of the line off-roader, the Badlands is definitely your trim. Now, if you're looking for the value adventure rig, that's where the Black Diamond comes in, because we've got a standard locking rear axle, these really cool steel bumpers. Now, these steel bumpers only come on the Badlands and the Black Diamond standard. They are available on some of the other lines, but Badlands and Black Diamond, they're standard. These steel bumpers, which have a really good clearance for off-roading. And the thing I like about them is that's where the built-in LED fog show up. So they have a built-in LED fog that's built into that steel bumper. Now, if you opt for the modular bumper, you lose those fog lights. Now, most people with modular bumpers are going to put their own lighting in them. But there again, that's an additional expense that you'll have at a later date. Both of them have marine grade vinyl. The Badlands had a little different vinyl with that orange stitching and the orange accents versus the Black Diamond will have blue stitching with gray accents on the seats and then also have the blue accents on the interior, which is why I chose my exterior color. Just like that cyber orange looks so good on a Badlands, the Velocity Blue is gonna look amazing on a Black Diamond. I'm really excited about it, especially with the Black Diamond logos on the side fenders. It's gonna look really cool. So if you want a Bronco with drains in the floors, you're either getting a Badlands or a Black Diamond. Now the Black Diamond and the Badlands are both available in a mid group. I went with the best value, the standard Black Diamond trim. The standard Black Diamond trim will include this incredibly cool looking molded in color black grille with the white Bronco emblem. So it'll look really neat to have those molded in color grills. It'll be kind of unique that are on the Black Diamond. So I'm really excited about that. Standard auxiliary switches. So the upfitter switches, which are available in option all across the Bronco lineup, are standard on these because they know we're going to be putting lights on for off-road adventures. At highway speeds with a manual transmission, I set the cruise at 65 miles an hour and I was exactly 2,000 RPM. And that 2.3 EcoBoost, inline EcoBoost, at 2,000 RPM going down the road at 65 miles an hour, as long as you don't have a bunch of stuff dragging on the roof, it's gonna get some pretty impressive fuel economy. I just know it. It's gonna be fun to see what I get out of it. I love the black steel wheels that come standard on the Black Diamond. Those steel wheels in the black with, like, say, the Area 51 looks really cool. But I went with the optional 17-inch high gloss painted aluminum wheel. They have a little more of an offset on them that's really gonna pop more because I like to have more of that offset look. So it's gonna have that offset look. Of course, I went with the Velocity Blue. Select that. Scroll on down here. Okay, now, on these tops, here's like some good advice when you're ordering your Bronco. On some of these tops, things like a Bimini mesh top, do not include this in your order. Like, you can get this through a parts department. You can get these through third party. You're gonna be able to buy this stuff in all kinds of places, especially any of these sort of things. So you don't want your order getting held up for a Bimini soft canvas top that you may see a better one from some third party guy down the road. So don't get hung up on those things. So we've got a standard molded in color hardtop on these, both in the Badlands and the Black Diamond. And further down here, we're gonna make sure to select the sound deadening. It's a free option, but you still have to select it and make sure when you order it at the dealer, they select that sound deadening for you. Now this is where that heavy duty modular bumper shows up. For 575 bucks, you can get the heavy duty modular bumper from Ford. Now, like I mentioned earlier, you're gonna lose the fog lights here when you swap out to that. However, if you want to take off these end caps, and the modularity of this front bumper is awesome. But here's a thing to point out, and I'm going to put a picture of it here up on the thing, but right up here in this front bumper, this little black box that you see right here, that is your collision alert sensor. That is the sensors for your collision alert system. So if you put something in front of those, you're blocking that. You're going to have to turn that off when you drive. And just side note on that, little pro tip on that. So be aware of that if you're thinking of putting winches, different things up there, can definitely affect that. I went with the standard steel bumpers because I feel like paying extra to lose my LED fog lights just doesn't make sense. Okay, now there again, things like these protective moldings and fender flare kits and things like these, door tube kits, get these through your Ford accessory parts department, right? Do not include these things on your order. Now, something like this body appearance kit, this is really unique. I haven't seen one of these yet, but I think if you were to want a body appearance kit on your Bronco, if you order this, I'm pretty sure it's going to get installed at the dealership anyway. So there again, that's probably another perfect example of something like these spare tire cover wheels and things like that that you just want to get from your dealer. Now, however, the roof rail rack and crossbars, I want to include that on my order. And these roof rails and crossbars, I got the tops off the two-door later this evening, and it was awesome. I love those crossbars. They're so heavy duty. They're so beefy, and they're so awesome, and they're so modular. They're really awesome. So you definitely, I highly recommend that one. 365 bucks, and that even includes the crossbars. The crossbars do have bolt drops through them, which is super cool. Okay, there again, more accessories that you would want to get from a parts department. Keyless entry keypad though, on a side note, you're gonna have Ford Pass, which will allow you to lock and unlock your vehicle with Ford Pass. With an automatic, you'll be able to remote start it. The remote start's not available on the manual, but Ford Pass will still lock and unlock the doors, so. And all the vehicle locations and all my vehicle data and all those other things that you get on a Ford Pass. Okay, this marine grade vinyl seating, hands down, this is why I got this trim. Is I love this interior for my lifestyle. If you've seen my previous videos, I'm a river surfer. So I'm down in the river in the cold winter. Oftentimes I'll just get back in my vehicle, literally dripping wet with frozen river water, and then come home and change out of my cold wetsuit in a nice hot shower. Okay, these cargo area storages and things like that, these are really cool, but there again, I recommend getting those things for your parts or accessory department. Auxiliary upfitter switch is standard. Go ahead and throw the floor mats if you want in. It seems like we've had no problem with those coming in. I didn't select the floor mats because I'm going to be using the rubberized floors in the drains. A lot of times when I'm getting in after being in the river, I get back in my vehicle with my booties on. I'm tracking a lot of sand and river dirt into the floor of my vehicles. Now, I've had like a rubberized winter mat in my van that I just knock out at the car wash and things like that. But this will be nice to have those drains and be able to wash it out. Really quick on a side note, with the navigation systems, those are trials. And then after the trials expire, they're subscription based. So I just went with the standard system and I'll be using the nav off of my phone. Okay, going back to the powertrain, like I said, I went with the 2.3, a far greater availability of a 2.3. And that's the only way you can get that manual transmission. And a manual transmission is just such a cool thing in a car. And having had my Mustang, here's a clip of my Mustang. Man, I miss that thing. I sold it last September. It was quite the monster car, no doubt about it. I really kind of miss a manual transmission. And then the 446 axle ratios. I just went with the standard 446. Here's why. That is a torquey beast of an axle. So on a Black Diamond, you do have the availability of the mid package. The mid package is where your heated seats, your ambient lighting, your auto dimming mirrors, but mainly your heated seats, your backup beepers. The Copilot 360 stuff becomes part of that. So I went with the standard package because it's got the LED lamps, the cruise control. The seat adjustments on those manual adjustment seats are great. I did select a tow package, but it's a 2-door, so I'm hoping this doesn't hold me up. Now this is one of those things I debated. This factory tow package, $595, it's wired and everything. I could have a tow package put on at my local tire and hitch company for less. And since I'm going to be using it more than likely as just a bike rack carrier, I don't necessarily need any wiring or anything. So it just really would be a bike rack carrier hitch. But if you are ordering your Bronco and you don't need a hitch, don't get a hitch, because there has been times that there were constraints on hitches. I don't know if that's the case so much today, if hitches are holding things up now like they did before, but there definitely was a time with that. So let's scroll on down. So yeah, let's scroll on down here. There she is, all her splendor. It's amazing. And the MSRP on this, the way it comes out, $39,900. Really hits a great value point to be under $40,000 and have all these features in a Bronco. This is the best value for how we plan to use our Bronco for us. So this fits us really well. Stay tuned. I just placed my order, so it's only been a few days, but my fingers crossed. I've heard on some orders from some of our customers that have ordered 2.3s with manual transmissions, they've been getting scheduled production dates in a matter of weeks. So I've got my fingers crossed that this Black Diamond is going to be the case, but we'll see how this goes. So make sure to subscribe so you can see how this turns out. Awesome. Thanks for watching.